So now moving on to the second part of this Code of the Duelist booster box opening. We've pulled 5 foils in total so far with 2 ultra rares. So I'm assuming that my last ultra rare, that if it's the same as previous boosters, I'm only going to have 1 more ultra rare slot, and hopefully that's going to be my Firewall Dragon. So we've got the Goki, Star Grail, this aerial creature again. Oh, and some Zark's trap card. Nothing special in the first pack. So actually, considering the total different kinds of archetypes in this set, I think it's a lot less than previous sets, although we should consider that there is some like overflow from the Arc 5 era as well. So the Twilight Swan, Treasure, Panda. Ooh, and another Cyverse foil card, Mistress Radiant. Over here we have Cyverse Wizard. When I first saw him, he really reminded me of like the Stargazer and Timegazer magicians that Yuya uses. But I guess all of them are sort of like tributes to Black Magician or like a Dark Magician, so that might be why. Alright. Yeah, but back to the topic of the archetypes in this set. We mainly have like anime exclusive ones, like the Cyvers that Yusaku will use. I mean, not really anime exclusive, but like the ones that will appear in the anime. So we have like the Goki, Trickster, and Yusaku Cyvers. Whereas for the OCG exclusive ones, we only have the Twilight Swan and the Star Grail, I think. So that's a lot less than usual. So I think this should be the third pack. Yeah, but I guess this is the first booster of the Brains era, and as the era goes on, we will be seeing a whole lot more variety in terms of new archetypes. I do hope they don't neglect the other summoning methods in the future as well and come up with new Xyz archetypes, Synchro. Oh, what? And I believe we have just pulled our secret rare, and the reason why I do not sound very excited is because it is just a repeat of our Cyverse Wizard. So I'm not sure if this applies to the English TCG, but for those of you not familiar with the Japanese OCG, the secret rare can be a variant of an ultra or a super. So obviously, if you get a variant of a super rare, it's not that fantastic. Especially if it's one you already pulled from the box. Oh well. I guess I'll keep the super and maybe sell the secret maybe. I mean, like, I don't know about you guys, but there's something I really love about the super rare foil. The secret rare, I mean, it fits for... Maybe it'll fit for even more epic monsters, but as a variant of a super rare, it just feels like a little too much for me. So is this pack number 4? Keep losing track. Here we have more Cyverse, Star Grail. And yes, this is the card I was talking about. It's Super Emergency Rescue, I think, or something along those lines. So you can see like a Rescue Kitten, Rescue Rabbit, Rescue Ferret, and Rescue Hamster over there, like saving this little porcupine, which is super cute. I can't believe they actually did that, but it's amazing. So pack number 5, more Cyverse badassery, Star Grail, Twilight Swan, and yeah, Boogie Trap. So back in the Arc 5 series, we saw a lot of new archetypes that could be from Synchro, Xyz, Fusion and stuff, but I guess that's mainly because Arc 5 was supposed to be like this whole fan service series. I hope they'll keep that up into Vrains as well though, because I think, ooh, what's this? Well, let's put this aside first. Let me, oh, could this be, I think it's a, what was it again? Let me think while I grab a sleeve. Yeah, the Prophecy archetype. Yeah, a spellbook card. Could it be? I can't remember what spellbooks are written as in. Oh, but they do look like the spellbook Prophecy one, so I assume it is. That's cool to give them some sudden support like this. Definitely my favorite thing about Yu-Gi-Oh is that they just randomly give support for older archetypes, and I love it. And I hope maybe they'll give some link support for Raid Raptors. Although, even though I really want to play Raid Raptors in this era, for now it feels like linking and Raid Raptors are a bit incongruent, so they don't really like support each other or have well synergy, at least from the cards I've seen so far. And up next we have more Tricksters, Star Grail. What's this? Pari Knights and a rare Trickster. Yeah, so I don't think we'll be able to tell that much from Code of the Duelist, but after we open the second set Circuit Break, I guess we'll have a better idea of how this whole season is going to develop. And if Circuit Break is just full of more Link summons, then oh well, we know where we're going. And up next we have Twist Cobra. But I mean, even in the Zale era, there was a badass Goki. Even in the Zale era, there was some like random synchro archetypes like the Mecha Phantom Beast, one of my favorites. So I mean, I'm sure at least they will give us some, but maybe not to the extent of Arc 5. But we don't know. We won't know for sure for a while. So more Gokis, the random Predator plant that's in this set, Twilight Sworn. What? Oh, so the last one is in this set. So here we have the Odd Eye Servant Dragon. So we basically pulled all 4. Collection complete. That reminds me though, I should open my Arc 5 4-Dimension Dragons collection. Twilight. Oh yes, we did manage to pull him after all. And it's the Electric Wave, is it like Electric Video Knight Gaia Saver. So it's a Link Tree Vanilla that requires 2 or more monsters. Very simple, yet effective. Although like, I guess in order to control like the power of Link monsters, you have to make the links a bit like inconvenient like this. Cause like when it's like this, there won't really be a situation where you can exploit all of the link markers of a Link monster to their fullest potential. I mean, because in most cases, some of the links will point to the spell trap zone, or if you put them in the extra monster zone, then some of them will point to the left or the right and just be like completely gone. But yeah, I guess that's just a balancing issue as well. And another Odd Eye Servant. And we only have 2 packs left. So hopefully we'll be able to pull another foil at least. I think this box owes us one more. I think. But let's see where it goes. I still need my Firewall Dragon. So Stack Reviver, more Cybers, the machine thing. Is this and oh! Our ultimate rare is the Goki Ace Monster, and it's Goki Great Ogre. Okay, this is one of those cards that look pretty much completely over the top amazing in Ultimate Rare. Although I do have a problem with how the link markers look in Ultimate Rare, but on a whole, it's like, wow. Okay, so you see in the middle, Goki has like no foil on him, but his entire background is like this surge of manly energy that's all transformed into this blaze of Ultimate Rare foil. My god. Oh god. Does this mean we are not gonna pull Firewall Dragon? And yet, I pulled the Ace monsters for both Trickster and Goki, so I guess I should be able to at least try out makeshift decks for both of those archetypes. Although mainly I've gotten a lot of foil Cyber support, so I could make a Cyber's deck also, but I don't know what I feel without Firewall Dragon, but at least I have that, what's it called again, Topologic. But we still don't have our third Ultra, so maybe they'll give us a third Ultra here. So, oops. Jack Wyvern, the Panda again. And our final card, it's not Firewall Dragon! Our final ultra rare is Stargrail Warrior Ningils, and it's not a dragon, nor is it a Cyverse, nor is it a Firewall, or basically, oh well. But it's still cool, I guess. I mean, I do quite like Ningils as a card in terms of his like effectiveness and play within the Stargrail archetype, and since I have him and Aurum, and I think even Imduk are rares, so I could pretty much make a solid Stargrail deck as well, so that's pretty cool. So we now have our sets, so let's quickly go through the different cards we managed to pull. Starting off with the super rares, we have the level 4 Cyverse Wizard. So basically this card, once per turn, allows you to target an opponent's attack position monster and change it to defense position. But the only drawback is that all of your monsters won't be able to attack that turn except to attack that monster. But if you attack it with a Cyverse monster, you'll be able to deal piercing damage. So Cyverse Wizard isn't really a combo card.
he's more of an individual supporter of sorts and more combat oriented. So I think he's pretty cool, but I don't really like him that much overall. So moving on, we have the level 6 Salvation Driver. So in contrast to Cyber's Wizard, he's more of the combo engine kind of card, and he really helps you keep the pressure on the opponent even when the opponent gets one off against you. So when this card is in your hand or graveyard, you're allowed to special summon it when one of your Cyber's Link monsters on your field is destroyed by your opponent, either by battle or card effect. And then once Salvation Driver is on the field, once per turn you're allowed to discard a magic card from your hand and special summon a Cyber's monster from your graveyard. But during that turn, it won't be able to attack the opponent directly. Still, I think it's a really important engine for basic Cyber's deck so far, and it'll definitely be seeing play in my own Cyber's deck. But do remember that you can't use the effects of multiple Salvation Drivers in one turn. So finally, we have this random support for spellbooks coming back again, the Spellbook of Rudra. Right there on the artwork, you can see like how reminiscent it is of the old archetype back from the Zale era. So basically, this card allows you to send a specific card from either your field or your hand to the graveyard, and you get 2 draws in exchange. So it is quite a powerful draw card, and I think it's quite cool that they are suddenly bringing back spellbook support. But I mean, I think spellbooks already have pretty strong draw engines already, so this one just makes them even more like powerful. So following that, we've got one of my most favorite cards from this set, the DDD True King of Surging Waves, Executive Caesar. So this Xyz monster will require 2 level 6 monsters of Fiend type. And when an opponent activates a monster effect, spell or trap that would include an effect of special summoning a monster, you can detach an Xyz material from this to negate that. But on top of that, you can select another DD monster on your field, and both that monster and this monster will gain 1800 attack, which means Executive Caesar will be pushed up to a crazy amount of 4600. So I mean, like, if you just push your opponent into a corner with Executive Caesar, they just can't fight back, because you can just negate any sort of engine they try to pull, and with the total amount of attack power you have, you can just finish him off. But do note that this effect of course only lasts till the end of turn, so if you activate it on the opponent's turn, you'll just become like really wally. And of course, the second effect, when this card is sent from the field to the grave, you can add a contract card from your deck to your hand. Typical DD stuff. Moving on, we have the reincarnation of Gaia the Fierce Knight into Link form, Gaia Saver, the sort of electrical video knight. Just a vanilla Link monster that'll help you in your Link combos. And to end off, we have our final super rare, the Stargrail Saltzman Aurum. So I already went through Aurum in a previous video, but he's basically an offensive card. He gains 300 attack for each Stargrail monster with a different name in your grave, and his second effect allows you to get the monsters you want out of the grave in order to fulfill the Link conditions for higher level Link summons. And his third effect, like all the Stargrail Link monsters, is that when he's sent to the graveyard, you can just special summon another Stargrail from your hand. With that, let's move on to the 3 ultra rares we managed to pull. So starting off, we have the ace monster of the new Trickster archetype, Trickster Holy Angel. So she's quite an interesting card, both sort of balanced with a mix of offense and defense. So basically, one of her effects is that whenever a Trickster monster is special summoned to the zones that she links to, you're allowed to inflict 200 damage to your opponent. This might seem small, but it sort of goes in tandem with her third effect, which is whenever your opponent receives effect damage due to the effect of one of your Trickster monsters, Holy Angel herself gains the amount of damage you inflicted to her attack until the end of the turn. So if you sort of manage to line up your effect damages upright, you can use her to get over some of your opponent's walls depending on the situation. And her second effect, which is quite defensive, would be to protect the Trickster monsters that are in front of her link zones, that protect them from destruction by either battle or card effect. So at the same time, she's able to sort of protect your army of monsters you're assembling while sort of shooting back at the opponent at the same time. Quite an interesting card. And of course, now we've got this super badass dragon, Topological Dragon. So let's finally find out what exactly it can do. So its first effect is, as long as this card remains in one of your monster zones, if a monster is special summoned to... If a monster other than Topological Dragon is special summoned to a Link monster's linked zone, any side of the field, like whenever, you could do it, your opponent could do it, but when it happens, you can basically destroy all monsters in the main monster zones of both your side of the field and the opponent's side of the field. After which, for the rest of that turn, the only monster that will be able to attack is Topological Dragon. So far you can tell that Topological Dragon is more of like this solo card. So it's like this sort of boss that just stands in the middle of the extra monster zone and just wipes everything out in the main zones just so he can attack. And his link markers support this by having 3 of his 4 link markers pointing backwards. So if he's in the extra monster zone, you'll have 3 link zones which will allow you to like set up an explosion whenever you want. As for his second effect, right after the damage step in which this monster attacks an opponent's monster, you can inflict the opponent with damage equivalent to the attacked monster's original attack, which is quite fearsome. So far, I'm really loving this card. Really feels like a weapon of mass destruction with its dark attribute and 3000 attack reminiscent of Blue Eyes. Really looking forward to testing it out in my Cybers deck. But so far, based on its effects, it doesn't seem to have a lot of synergy with the rest of the deck. It's more of like a standalone boss. So moving on to our third ultra rare, we have the Stargrail Warrior Ningils. So his first effect, as always, is a powerful draw engine for the Stargrail archetype as a whole, and his second effect is very interesting. It allows you to bypass destruction, while at the same time has a lot of energy with a Stargrail deck as a whole, because as I mentioned earlier, all Stargrail Link monsters, when sent from the field to the grave, allow you to special summon a Stargrail monster from your hand, so you can make use of it to get rid of your opponent's cards, while still being able to recycle yours. So up next we have our secret rare, a very disappointing card pull, but oh well, let's just quickly move on with that. And finally to our ultimate rare, just look at it, Goki Great Ogre. So basically Goki Great Ogre is sort of similar to Topologic, I feel, in the sense that he's a very, he has the sense of being a very like boss card. So basically as long as this monster is in the monster zone, every single monster on the field will have its attack reduced by its original defense, which is great for the Goki deck because Goki monsters have 0 defense, but not so great for your opponent, unless they happen to use Goki or like some other 0 defense archetype. So it's sort of like he uses his aura of manliness to sort of smash the willpower of all of the opposing monsters. So badass. And after that, its second effect would be if this monster would be destroyed by either battle or card effect, you can instead destroy one of the monsters in Great Ogre's link zones instead. So it's like a sort of sacrifice in order to keep Great Ogre going. So that's why I said he's sort of like this big boss that sort of helps your gang power up by lowering the power of opponent's monsters. And then you can sacrifice your minions to keep the boss's presence there in order to maintain your overall field presence.
Whoops! I'd just like to clarify that these two commons that I sort of tossed away as Cybers monsters in my opening are actually machine types, and they also possess effects that are sort of supportive of machine types. So this is Hackworm and Jack Wyvern. Sorry about the miss, I guess it's because they sort of look like they exist in the sort of digital realm, the same as the Cybers. And I suppose they are actually support for this Hydoranda card over here. So who knows? The Cybers feel like sort of like the main computer hardware, but these guys look more like viruses. So perhaps we'll see more machine type support for these sort of virus family monsters in the future as well.
So with that, that'll be the end of this card opening. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, please do give this video a like and a thumbs up. I really enjoyed making it as well, and I do hope to be able to cover the rest of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains era. Of course, there should be booster packs, there should be new booster sets coming out every month. Next month, we have Collector's Pack 2017 set for release, and I'm really looking forward to that as well because we have Odd Eyes, the Odd Eyes Venom Dragon in that set. So do subscribe if you're interested in that and you'd be interested in seeing more Yu-Gi-Oh! Reigns content from me. So with that, hope to see you in the next video.